here to quash a warrant and then related to an arraignment.
Mr. Gordon, any reason why you didn't show up on the thing?
I went out of town recently, after I got the ticket, and I had just had a lot of things going on and I totally overlooked it. I'm very sorry for that.
Why don't we quash the warrant and then have you come back on January 5th? It might be a good court date. I'm going to appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in the matter.
Stipulate to probable cause, Your Honor, ask the court to enter not guilty plea.
Absolutely.
Let's see, maybe something you have to sign in a second here.
Mr. Gordon, full name Randall Vincent Gordon. I'd overlooked that you were still at arraignment, sad as you hadn't appeared in court at all in the matter. But yeah, plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf. That preserves your rights. Pre-trial, that's to attempt to resolve the case without having to go forward to trial. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. Take care. We'll see you back here on January 5th. Our primary interest is if there's an issue with the driver's license, do what you can to get it straightened out if that's possible.
Yeah.
Good luck.
This is the only thing holding my license right now. Will that still be after January 5th? Before I would have a hold off?
What day? We can lift the hold right now or at this time. Let's lift the hold. We'll FTA it, so to speak, and that'll allow you to move forward.
Thanks, Ron.
Warrant is quashed. FTA is removed.
Thank you.
Mr. Gordon, thank you for appearing. You take care. Have a good day. Back to the dashboard.
Sign this down. Perfect. Your Honor, next two matters are going to concern a charity, is it Logis? Logis, numbers 8 and 9 on the 11 o'clock calendar.
Morning, Ben.
And parties, I think, have reached a global agreement. The reckless driving is today to be amended to civil infraction of negligent driving in the second degree, $250 penalty. And then on the other pretrial case, we're proposing a stipulated order of continuance, condition of law-abiding behavior for 12 months, $250 probation fee, at the end of which time the charges can be dismissed.
And that's for disorderly conduct.
Yes.
And obstructing. Your full name is Charity Jane Logis. How do you pronounce your name? Logis. I can mispronounce any name. You disagree with anything Mr. Haverco just said?
No, I agree.
With regard to the criminal offense of reckless driving, the city's amending that to a civil infraction of negligent driving in the second degree. That's quite a drop. And the recommended fine on that would
$250.
$250 it is. I'm inclined to enter a fine of $250. If there's anything you'd like to tell me, you certainly can. I'm also looking at on the computer screen at an SOC, stipulated order of continuance. It's a contract. You probably heard me. I'm going to repeat a lot of what I just said. It's a contract under the terms of which the charges will go away. They'll be dismissed if you comply with the terms. Stay out of trouble is really the only real term there is. Also costs in the amount of $250, Mr. Aberco.
Yes, yes, sir.
That's taken care of. The matter will be dismissed 12 months down the road from now. And again, if the city proves that you violated the agreement, we'll have a hearing based on the police reports. And you know how that would result. I remember the case. I have to review things for probable cause. That's being a police officer is it's kind of a rough job, and it's also not any fun to get pulled over by somebody wearing a badge and a gun. And always best to make that, if it can't be pleasant, at least as painless as possible for all concerned. Hopefully it's been a learning experience. Payments will be $45 a month. If you have trouble making the payments, I want you to get a hold of Mr. Haverco and we can readdress it better. That's unimportant. Now your driving record, that has a lot to do with your insurance premiums, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and your ability to drive at all. So you've got quite a reduction here. I hope you appreciate it. Good luck to you. Ms. Logis, take care. Yes.
Payments, who do I go to?
You can make the payments at the window here or by mail. If you mail them in, put the ticket number on your check. You'll get a copy of the today's paperwork at the window. That answer your question?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No, I think one of this,
I can't get past
yeah.
Donnie, I can't get past the are you sure window. Those are-
Yeah, then yeah, you can close it. Hit the close button,
No.
and then just a consent. So that just close out, and then you just refresh.
Close.
Refresh.
Yes. This one.
Yep. And then, yeah.
Certainly. Oops.
Yeah, so you're gonna get accessible to things.
Just on this side. This one. That's our-
should be things like that. Is that a plan?
We'll just then reopen the judge's sign. So I should just close. So Stephen, good morning. Having issues with the old courts. Nothing new there. Do you have any matters to call?
Yes, I have a handful. I can take right now, Mr. Parker, actually the 9 o'clock calendar.
Mr. Parker, good morning. Good morning.
We're arriving at these matters today. What we're gonna do, Your Honor, is, there is an SOC that was stipulated to a revocation on. Additionally, that we enter in a plea on the arraignment case, which we're stipulating, obviously, the probable cause I'm leaving and reading on, which is the matter ending in 054. On successful entrance, of that plea, the case is, ending in 792 and 483 will be dismissed. And I have gone over that plea form with Mr. Parker.
Mr. Parker, do you disagree with anything at all, Mr. Stephen just said?
No, sir.
Your full name is Kyle Sheldon Parker?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to one count of looks like theft in the 3rd degree is the sole charge remaining. Plea form tells me you're 35 years of age. You've been through the 12th grade. Any issues at all going through the plea form with your attorney?
No, sir.
If I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5, no trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing, which could be up to 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
As to one count of theft in the 3rd degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on September 8th of 2022, how do you plead guilty or not?
Guilty.
You make that plea of your own free will.
Yes, sir.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make it plea?
No, sir.
I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made, and your statement in paragraph 11, the plea form does satisfy the factual elements of the offense. Steve, as far as the recommendation is concerned,
Yes, Your Honor, it's an agreed recommendation. There's not gonna be a fine here. Mr. Parker doesn't have any money. That's part of.
364, no fun.
Yes, everything's suspended, Your Honor, on this, and he's just gonna stay away from Safeway, and then he's, got some plans to handle the other matters. I don't know the courts that he needs to take care of.
Mr. Radcliffe, anything further to add? Mr. Parker, you have a right to tell me anything you wish. You don't have to say anything. You can rely on the statements of your attorney. But if you have anything I should know, now's the time.
I just plan on getting down to handle all the other court matters that I need to.
Always a good idea to not go where we're not welcome at all, and to stay away from there. Failure to do that results in criminal charges and the necessity of going to court. I think the recommendation is a fair one. I'm going to follow it. All jail time suspended on the condition you have law-abiding behavior. 364 days. Stay out of trouble. No need to. I'm not going to impose any fine based on what your attorney is saying. And the other matters ending in 792 and 483 are, I take it, dismissed. Mr. Parker, it's going to take me a moment here to electronically sign. Mr. Parker, that concludes the matter. I want you to get a copy of today's judgment and sentence at the window, out of the courtroom to the left, and I'm going to wish you the best of luck. I want to thank you for your patience. You've been here for a while, and that you take care of yourself and take Mr. Steve's advice regarding matters in the future. Good luck to you, sir.
Take care. Next matter I'd like to follow to.
Go ahead.
Oh, here. Next matter will be Mr. Rosner. This matter, Your Honor, we've got a number of matters that are before the court. We need to make one slight addition to the form. So I'll be making one slight addition before we start here. So Mr. Rosnick is before the court, Your Honor, on a couple of matters. We have a couple of thefts, malicious mischief, and a criminal trespass. In the two theft matters, we're going to enter pleas of guilty with an agreed recommendation for credit for 4 days served and 8 hours of community service to be done in the next 60 days. Additionally, he'll be staying away from the residents of Olivia Reed and from Safeway. There's $150 probation fee that they'll pay over the next 12 months on a payment plan. Upon successful entrance to that plea, the city is agreed to dismiss the malicious mischief and criminal trespass second degree counts, Your Honor. Thank you.
Total 1, 2, 3, 4 spots on the docket. The plea would be to 2 counts of theft.
Yes.
Pretty much everything else dismissed. I
Yes.
guess. For the record, is your name Cyrus James Rosnick?
Yes.
Mr. Rosnick, do you disagree with anything at all your attorney just said?
No, I do not.
I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to 2 counts of theft in the 3rd degree, occurring on, it looks like March 7th of 2022 and November 12th, 2022. There's also a recommendation of dismissal of all the remaining charges, with the exception of those 2. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Plea form tells me you're 22 years of age. Any problem reading, understanding the plea process with your attorney?
No.
If I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5. No trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing, which could be up to the maximum. That would be 364 days in jail on each charge and or a $5,000 fine, regardless of what's recommended. You realize that. With that in mind, as to 1 count of theft in the 3rd degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on March 7th. The 2nd account, same offense, theft occurring on 11/12 of 2022, both within the city of Yelm. How do you plead guilty or not guilty to those?
Guilty.
Offenses? You make those pleas of your own free will.
Yes.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you that
No,
you're
Your
going to make it plead? I will find the pleas to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. And your statements in paragraph 11 do satisfy the factual elements. For the recommendation, which basically is a little more complicated than usual. But anything you'd like to tell me?
No, I mean, I'm for the community service. I know that I can go work at the Habitat for Humanity down here, which I'm planning on doing. And I'm also planning on getting a job soon. I've been looking for jobs on Indeed to pay off any fines that I have through the court systems.
I'm going to follow the record. Mr. Rapp, anything you'd like to add to this agreed recommendation? The I'll follow the recommendation, 364 days, credit for 4 days served, 360 on each charge, suspended on a bunch of conditions. Most importantly, stay out of Safeway, stay away from Olivia Reed, and have law-abiding behavior. You're to complete 8 hours of community service within the next 60 days. I approve. That's my opinion as to what constitutes community service is a pretty wide one. Anything that benefits the community is.
Do you know what I would, how do I track that?
Usually, do we still have a form? We have a form, when you perform the community service for somebody, they'll sign off on it, so many hours,
Gotcha.
such and such a date. And that's, you have 60 days to do that, so that should be.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you sort of, I hate to use the expression one-man crime wave here, but you've got a number of offenses in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you've decided maybe slightly different.
Yeah. I'd rather
We-
not be in jail anymore.
That's always, that's a laudable goal, stay out of jail. Freedom is important. People don't mind staying in a room, but they hate to hear it locked when everybody else leaves. So I'm gonna wish you the best of luck, Mr. Rosnick. You take care of yourself. There's some paperwork involved that hopefully by the time you get to the window, you'll be able to get a copy of that, review it carefully, and then call Mr. Steve if you had any questions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosnick, thank you and good luck. Signed and closed. Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor. With this matter, this is Mr. Horace Franklin on the tenant. We have a plea form in our courts to an amended, and I don't know. Just need to make sure that this amendment occurs. I don't know a way to note that on our courts, but we're amending this to a no test. And that's obviously significant, so we need to make sure that that's that is placed in the on the judgment of the sentence, but this matter is being amended to a no test, and Mr. Brantley is entering a plea to 1 count of DUI, no test with injury recommendation. For the mandatory minimum, he is currently doesn't have an income, so there would not be, or very little, so there would not be any fines. However, we are agreeing to a $250 probation fee to be paid over the next 24 months. Payment plan. Additionally, he did the eval, and I've just sent that to the clerk, and so we do have the eval. We're just asking for 60 days to begin treatment so he can try to save up some money. And lastly, Your Honor, for 60 days to set up the 1 day of jail that he owes as a result of the conviction. Thank you.
Mr. Bradley, excuse me. Is your full name Horace Brantley Jr.?
Correct, sir.
Mr. Brantley, I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to 1 count of DUI, no test result. Plea form tells me you're 65 years of age and you have a GED.
Yes, sir.
Any problem at all going over the plea form with your attorney?
No, sir.
And if you had any questions about what it meant to enter a plea of guilty to this offense, what's your question answer?
Everything's answered, sir.
Now, this is a what they call a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum penalty would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine, which I would be free to impose regardless of what's recommended by your attorney in the city. If I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5, no trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing from which there really isn't any effective appeal. With that in mind, it's still 1 count of driving while under the influence of intoxicants, alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on August 10th, 2022. how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
You make that plea of your own free will.
Yes, I do.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you to
No,
make?
sir.
I should note that as a result of the accepting the plea, the Department of Licensing will suspend your license for a period of time, depending upon your driving history. Does that change it?
No, sir.
The recommendation is basically for a waiver of the statutorily mandated fine and the rest of it pretty much as mandated by law. City, have anything to add to the sentencing recommendation? Mr. Bradley, is there anything you'd like to tell me? You have a right to tell me anything you think I should know.
No, sir, not really. I just want to make sure I keep up with all of my visits to the VA and to AA meetings that I go to. And I also travel to seasonal work, and right now we're at a slow period, but we'll pick up because I'm a painter, and this is kind of like a tough time for it right now.
I am going to follow the recommendation, 364 days in jail, 363 suspended. There is that mandatory 1 day served. That's you're asking for 60 days, Mr. Steve, 90
Yes,
days?
Your Honor, just because of the holidays and sometimes logistically.
Let's go 90.
Let's go 90.
Let's,
Okay.
within the next 90 days,
Okay.
and also the evaluation, that you've got that within 90 days, start that. The only interest we have there is anything we can do to keep you from reoffending, committing the same offense again, is we're going to do that. The number of people we slaughter on the highway every year as a result of people mixing drinking and driving is something that's resulted in the seriousness of the offense. You'll get a copy of the judgment and sentence. The jail will need that when you check in, and that can be served at the Nisqually jail. Mr. Steven can tell you exactly where that is. $250 fine. We're going to set your payments on that. If you have any trouble making the payments, make sure you let us know. That's the least important thing here, and we can always address that.
Yes, sir.
The most important thing is we learn from this and not to be repeated.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bradley, I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself. You can get a copy of today's papers at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Next matter, we have your honor, Sister Cleveland.
Ready to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. In this matter, what we're gonna be doing today is,
And this is
I'm sorry, this is Mr. Cleveland.
Anthony Cleveland.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
Cleveland, thank you for your patience.
And what we have here today, Your Honor, is an old diversion and an old pretrial. And on the old diversion case, there's been a couple of different allegations that would violate the agreement, one of which is a new law violation out of another jurisdiction that's already been found as convicted. So what we're doing today is we're stipulating to the revocation of the diversion and a guilty fine with an agreement that the case will be closed because it's 3 or 4 years old at this point. And the other, in the pretrial case at this point is stale and will be, I believe the city has a motion to dismiss that, which we have no objection to.
I'm looking at an order of dismissal in case ending 5111. Signing off on that as we speak. Believe with regard to case number ending in 721, based on the stipulation recited by your attorney, we will simply enter a finding of guilt on that case and then close the file.
Sorry about the FTAs, Your Honor.
If we don't learn from our mistakes, we're condemned to repeat them, and hopefully things are now on a more
Yeah.
even keel in your life.
I did the coward thing. I was just scared I was gonna end up in prison or dead, so I moved away and relocated. That's what happened. And then I had to come back down here last year because my mom was on fentanyl and I got her clean,
Ah.
so.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And now I only have one more warrant to quash after this in Thurston County.
Good luck with that, you know, and you can leave, but like somebody once said, no matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah,
So
it's always gonna follow you if you don't take care of it,
We take our issues with us.
but I do apologize.
Hey, no need to apologize. It just, I want to thank you for showing up, and I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, Judge Myers.
I just need a couple of moments, Sean, and talk to you.
We could revisit advanced work, was on in 1945 or 500. He was about ready to leave, so I'd like to come on for. He was on his way out and you realized.
Good morning again.
Yeah, he just wanted to get the date set to just another date because apparently it corresponds with the same date he has to be up in Snohomish County. Yeah.
Or I realized, if I'm able, because I do live in Snohomish County, if I'm able to do a Zoom for that, I can make both for the same day. I wouldn't have to change the date if I'm able to do Zoom instead.
Back to that, we're gonna have to, whatever works best is what we're gonna do. Whatever works best for you.
If I could do Zoom, that'd be great. It did take me 2 hours to get here today. And then I wouldn't need to change the date rather.
Is this, I see the under of the offense here is driving a license suspended or revoked in the 3rd degree. Is there anything about this that I don't know?
Lake City has a motion.
Yeah, Your Honor, city needs to amend, charge to the law.
Mr. Gordon, we can take care of the matter of DWS 3rd is a criminal offense. Bears up to 90 days in jail. The city has amended the charge from a criminal offense to a civil infraction. Infraction, all I can do is fine you. You don't plead guilty to it, you admit it or deny it. If you admit that you committed the infraction as amended, no valid operator's license on your person when you were cited on April 28th, I'll impose a fine, $250, and that'll end the matter.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's what we'll do. That's gonna take a minute to get the form, but oh, it is there. Yeah, I just hit the refresh button and there it is. That takes care of the matter. We don't need to set another court date.
Okay. Well,
The question I have, and the only thing I'm really interested in here is, what do you need to do to reinstate? Just pay them.
This was the only hold left on my license.
And just pay the reinstatement fee
Yeah.
probably, based on what you were telling me a little while ago.
Then I'll probably get that today.
And that's, check with Department of Licensing. Sometimes I've seen things jump up from the past,
Yeah.
over time. So yeah, make sure you get the reinstatement fee, get reinstated, try to.
Thank you very much.
That takes care of the matter. We don't have a court date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And go ahead and get a copy of today's order at the window.
This number. Ben. Oh, not yet. We gotta plug it in. Yeah. There you go.
There we go. Do you have a go ahead caught up?
So next matter would be Ms. Nebel. It's number 14 on the 10 o'clock.
Is your name Edith Neville?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning. Matter set for pretrial. I'll defer to Mr. Haverko, your attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. The parties have reached an agreement, that being a stipulated order of continuance. She is to remain no criminal law violations for the next 12 months, pay a $250 probation fee, the end of which time the city will move to dismiss.
Ms. Neville, I'm looking at an SOC. What it is a contract between you and the city negotiated by your attorney under the terms of which this charge will be dismissed if you comply with the conditions set forth in it. Mr. Haverko said what those are, and that's most importantly, stay out of trouble. Don't commit any criminal law violations. Pay a $250 probation fee. Now, if you violate the agreement, the city proves you committed another criminal offense or failed to pay the fine, we'll have a hearing based on the police reports, and you know where that would go. That would most certainly result in a conviction, more likely than not. Any questions at all? Ms. Neville, that's you have a way of getting this charge dismissed. It will not go on your record as a conviction as long as you comply with the agreement. Hopefully, 12 months from now, we can simply review the file and close the case.
Thank you.
Ms. Neville, good luck. I want you to get a copy of today's agreement at the window out of the courtroom to your left. Review it carefully. And if you have any questions at all, give Mr. Haverko a call, all right? Take care of yourself and good luck. Thank you.
Take care.
Good work that. Back to the dashboard. Go ahead.
Next matter, Your Honor, on the 11 o'clock would be Jason Tipton. It's number 14.
Mr. Tipton, I'm looking at kind of a favorable disposition of the case, but I'll turn to your attorney.
Parties have had some discussions. It's, I believe the city is going to move to dismiss.
Mr. Tipton, I'm sure you have no objection to the charge simply being dismissed. I'm doing so at this time. Good luck to you. Sometimes we're identified with things go around unfairly, and who knows? Be that as it may, out of respect for your attorney's wishes and the city's agreement, charges dismissed.
Right.
You can get
Very
a
well.
copy of today's order if you need that or want that by going to the window outside the courtroom to your right. Good luck.
And this was to the court here, because they're going to have record of that. Next matter, Your Honor, is that of Travis Miguel. Is it Miguel? Michael? Mile. Oh, it's pronounced Mile? It's number 11 on the 11 o'clock calendar, comes on for a basically a show cause hearings, the end of an SOC period on a DUI. He hadn't completed some requirements. He's showed up with proof today. It should be with the court record there. He's paid the financial costs. And he has with him today a certificate of completion from Adaptive Skills Counseling. It's,
Hey, that's, did you learn anything? From it? Is that, sometimes that's pretty,
and in your letter, you indicate he's gotten himself involved with the evaluation process. His understanding, I asked him, I said, well, even though they haven't written the evaluation, they've done this, they can direct them something like 60 days of intensive outpatient.
Yes, sir.
I think right, kind of about around the program. The only thing I don't know is do we have enough time that, allow him to, these are great efforts, but providing the city comfortable with him to somehow having the time to complete what is, treatment requirements to do.
well, that would be up to the city. If the city wishes to, extend the agreement for a period of time to, allow for that, that'd be,
This is fine, that.
okay. Now, I'm not gonna, I'll mispronounce your name if I try. How do you pronounce your name?
Mile.
Mr. Mile. Travis Graham. We're extending the agreement by for a year, by a year. We'll give you a chance to go through with that. It looks like the fine is paid in full, the monetary part of it, and what you have left is to follow through with the assessment and anything that's recommended. How is life going otherwise? You're here and addressing this matter, and you take care of the financial part of it. I was assuming that would be the case, that things are on a better pathway, I should say, than they have been. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. Simply review the matter and go ahead to suing and file. I'm sure the city usually gives you the benefit of your bargain and closes the case as soon as you fully comply. You have a year to do it, but the sooner the better. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself. If you need anything. Hang on for a minute, Mr. Mile. We're going to generate go to the order on which one? Order on review. Let's see, order on review. Mr. Miles, hold on. I'm just filling out the order as we speak. It's going to take a minute, but please get a copy of it before you leave. And again, it's good to see you. And I'm sure courtrooms are a place you'd rather not go, but you go because you have to. But I'm thinking maybe that's at an end. So you. I am not sure any FDA that we have would certainly remove that. This might not be related. It might be as a result of the given the nature of the charge, that this could be unrelated to anything we've done in this court. What you might want to do is check with the Department of Licensing to see what it is. If there's anything we can do to facilitate that, that'd be fine. But along with the arrest for the offense, a notice goes out, license suspended because of just simply for being arrested, taking the breath. So there's a whole, and it might be something related to that. But if you being on a diversion here, that shouldn't hold up your license at all. Attach signature, save signature. Mr. Mile, it's done. Get a copy at the window. Good luck to you. Take care. Thank you for your patience. Take care.
Next matter we have, Your Honor, is Mr. Wilson on the 11 o'clock. This matter comes on for pretrial negligent driving. We have a stipulated order of continuance in O courts whereby Mr. Wilson will do an alcohol drug information school class and have law-abiding behavior and pay a $250 probation fee over the next year. And this case will be dismissed. Additionally, Mr. Wilson does have proof of insurance now, and we would ask to mitigate the infraction. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, for the record, your name is Michael J. Wilson. Good morning, sir. I'm looking at an SOC stipulated order of continuance, which in reality is a contract between you and the city negotiated by your attorney, under the terms of which you can get a real favorable disposition in the form of a dismissal 12 months down the road if you comply with the conditions set forth in the agreement. Basically, those are a probation fee in the amount of $250, but more importantly, no criminal law violations, especially when it comes to the consumption of alcohol and driving. You do that, the end result a year down the road is a dismissal. That takes care of the criminal offense. And once again, you've heard me say this, if you violate the agreement and the city proves that, we come back, we have a hearing based on the police reports, and that would almost certainly result in a conviction for the offense. That hearing is based on your waiver of all the trial rights you have. That takes care of the criminal matter. There's also the NDOL and no insurance. Those are the major league, the heavyweight $530 tickets. Do you have your insurance now? Do you have a license now?
Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Yep.
I'm going to reduce those to 150 each.
Thank you.
That's at least a little better than 553 each.
Oh, man.
I'm signing electronically signing the SOC. And I want you to get a copy of this and the infraction disposition at the window before you leave. Read the instruments over carefully, and any questions at all, make sure you ask. Give Mr. Steve a call and ask him.
Yes, sir.
Wilson. Sign is closed. Mr. Wilson, good luck to you. You take care. Have a good day.
I have one more, and then I've got two no-shows and then mic drop here. Your Honor, this matter, Mr. Lubers on the 11 o'clock.
Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead.
In this matter, we have a plea that's in the courts, Your Honor, to agree recommendation.
Good morning, sir. Is your full name Michael Joseph Lubers?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lubers, I'm looking at the statement of defendant on plea of guilty to one count of theft in the third degree. Plea form tells me you're 35 years of age, have a GED. Any problem at all going through the plea form with your attorney?
No.
Now, this is what you're pleading guilty to is a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. Now, I'd be free to impose that regardless of what's recommended. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
And if you plead guilty and I accept the plea, you give it the rights contained in paragraph 5. There's no trial, no witnesses, no appeal, simply a sentencing, and that concludes that. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
That in mind is to one count of theft in the third degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on August 23rd, 2022. How do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Do you make that plea of your own free will?
Yes.
Anybody make any threats or promises to make you make them? Paragraph 11 does satisfy the factual elements of the offense. I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. Takes me a minute to check the box regarding the plea form and signing the same. Having done that, recommended sentence is a $250 fine by way of a probation fee and all jail time suspended, Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, you have anything you'd like to tell me? You have a right of elocution, they call it. You can tell me anything you want. You don't have to say anything, but
I just, I apologize for even being in here, man. I shouldn't, it was stupid.
we make mistakes. We're human. What we try to do is learn from our mistakes and go on to make new ones instead of
Right.
repeating old ones. Hopefully, this has been a learning experience and a mistake that won't be repeated.
Definitely.
Every once in a while, tell people that, hey, when you help yourself to something in a store, stores know what they're gonna lose and they adjust their prices accordingly. So you're not hurting Mr. Albertson or Mr. Safeway. You're affecting everybody you know that happens to shop there. I'm gonna wish you the best of luck. Now, if you can get a copy of the today's paperwork by going to the window outside the courtroom and to your left and review that carefully and give Mr. Steve a call if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Bless you.
If we could check with the Zoom. folks, I think that's probably what we're saying.
We have somebody on the telephone, area code 509-4130.
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, sir. We don't have a name. Could you identify yourself by giving us your full name?
It's Philip Zermino.
Could you repeat?
Did you get that?
I could hear that. I didn't.
Philip
Last name.
Zermino.
Yes.
Which.
It stands.
I couldn't understand anything you were saying. I had connection here.
Mr. Zermino, we,
Yes.
addressing your matter, your attorney is not in the courtroom right now. That's Mr. Haverco of, he'll be back in the courtroom in a minute and I'll have him, talk to you. Have you had a chance to talk to him?
No, I haven't actually. I need to. With this warrant and everything, I haven't had the opportunity to get a hold of him. I've been slacking actually.
What we'll do is, we'll give him this phone number when he gets back in the courtroom and he can give you a call, okay?
Okay.
We have a phone number ending in 7558. But the caller is muted. If you'd unmute yourself and tell us who you are, we'll address your matter at this time. Seven five five eight. If you'd unmute and let us know who you are, we'll address your matter.
Is it start, you need to press *6 to unmute. I could go through my remaining cases here, Your Honor. I'd like to.
Go back to the, probably starting with the 9 o'clock calendar, page 5. I think Kyle Parker
We handled that.
is done.
Next matter I'm showing, Your Honor, is Antonio Clark off 10 o'clock. I do have some information. Unfortunately, Mr. Clark was picked up on some new serious felony matters, is being held in Thurston County Jail on Superior Court charges since we were last here. So I don't have any information besides that. We had been setting this over to see if he could get into drug court, but I haven't.
That's, doesn't sound promising if these are new charges.
The new charges aren't going to be drug court eligible, I don't think. They appear to be at least one.
I want to ask you what they are. I think we do have a, we have a bond posted with regard to document 5. Reserve jurisdiction, I suppose we need to issue a warrant to this. City moved to forfeit the bond. Bonding company usually does is ask us for more time to surrender the defendant until enough time to get them out of jail. 1,000 cash or bond items 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next one I have is on page 10, number 15. Unless I missed something earlier, which I may.
I don't have any information to provide the court.
So do you have a motion?
What's your last name? I believe.
That's on Nielsen, page 10,
Mr. Haverford's case.
2,500 cash report. Mr. Rosnick, we took care of.
He'll be with you shortly. Shide with another one, I'm not sure if that's next. Frederick Douglas is on for Douglas Frederick was on for a sentence compliance. I don't have any information to provide the court in that matter.
I PR'd him on the condition he showed up. He assured me he would, but false hope is better than no hope. City wish a warrant,
Yes.
2,500 cash report. Josh, the next one I have is page 14, document number 13, Isla Shidak, and it looks like that's in warrant status anyway.
Right, I don't have any information on that. I think that's it. I'm gonna go speak with Miss Ramirez. I don't believe I'm gonna be able to take any more cases here, at least for the time being, so. I've enjoyed the last couple of years. Thank you, Your Honor.
We're moving
Been
on.
great. Yeah, I'm gonna be with the county for a while. I canceled my one-year contract.
Dr. Newman.
Sign on this pen.
And
This is Ms. Hunt. And she is on the 11 o'clock calendar, item number 5. And it's on a matter comes before the court today on a pretrial hearing concerning the theft and a criminal trespass charge. It's her intention, I believe, on entering a straight plea of guilt to the theft charge. Upon the court's acceptance of the plea, city will move to dismiss count 2, the criminal trespass charge.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your full name Jennifer Marie Hunt?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hunt, do you disagree with anything at all that Mr. Haverco just said on your behalf? You disagree with anything? I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to 1 count of theft in the 3rd degree, which incorporates a dismissal of a 2nd charge of criminal trespass. Plea form tells me you're 39 years of age. Any problem at all going through the plea form with your attorney?
No, sir.
Now, theft third is a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine, which I'd be free to impose regardless of what's recommended. You realize that?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5. There's no trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing. With that in mind, is the 1 count of theft in the 3rd degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on October 19th, 2022. How do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Do you make that plea of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you plead guilty? I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. And your statement of paragraph 11 does satisfy the factual elements. Recommended sentence is 364 days in jail. Also suspended on the condition of law-abiding behavior and a $250 fine. Mr. Haverco, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Mr. Radcliffe, anything to add to your recommendation? Ms. Hunt, you've heard the recommendation. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? You have a right to tell me anything you think I should know before sentencing you.
No, sir.
Right.
There's a mistake that I made, and I want to be making that mistake again.
We all make mistakes, so I'm gonna follow the recommendation. 364, also suspended on the condition, law-abiding behavior. $250 probation fee, which you can pay at $25 a month. Now, if you have trouble making the payments, let us know. We can deal with that pretty easily. But the jail time is suspended on one condition only, really, and that's stay out of trouble. We don't learn from our mistakes, as they say, we're condemned to repeat them. So I'm reviewing the judgment and sentence form. The attorneys are doing the same. So that concludes the hearing. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself. And again, get a copy of the paperwork at the window, outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck to you.
If Mr. Zermeno is still on the. Yeah, that was the one, that was the 509. That was, oh, that was, Dorino Graves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is this Mr. Graves?
Yes, sir, it is, Your Honor.
I'm gonna prepare a motion to continue here real quick, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Graves, your attorney is preparing a motion to reset your matter. Stand by.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Man, where is this on? Tired of doing this type of shit. Can be. I don't need guilty shit. That'll just be the shit that you say.
So I've submitted the motion for continuance to conduct some additional discussions with the city.
Waiting for it. Got the spinning. Sheriff, go about how far out would you like to go?
60 days.
February. Mr. Graves, your case is being reset to February 2nd at the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning. Stay in touch with your attorney and we'll see you here in person on February 2nd, okay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
That concludes the hearing. You can sign off now. We'll send you a copy of today's order.
Okay. Hello.
Good morning. Is this Mr. Zerbino?
Yes, sir.
So I've had an opportunity to chat with Mr. Zermino a little bit. I'm proposing a defense request to continue the matter. I need to conduct a little bit of additional looking into the matter. Has to reset at 60 days.
Looks like the matter's still in warrant status.
Oh, this. Oh, okay. Well, I would ask, I'd have to go back to the doc to figure out when he failed to appear. I guess he is appearing today. I would ask the court to consider quashing the warrant and setting a new pretrial date.
See, you have a problem? Mr. Zemino, we're resetting your matter to February 2nd at 11 o'clock in the morning. You need to be here in person for that. The warrant that is outstanding for your arrest with regard to the charge will be withdrawn, but it will be reissued if you don't show up. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Zamino, good luck to you. Take care. Stay in touch with your attorney and we'll see you next year.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
You follow.
So we get some Ms. Barrows in the hopper? Okay. So-
Hello?
Good morning. Is this Faith Barrow?
Yes, this is.
Okay, this is Dan Haverco, your attorney. We're in court right now and you're in the Zoom meeting. I've prepared a statement of defendant on plea of guilty and I believe we're intending to do is enter a straight plea to the theft charge upon the court's acceptance of the plea. The city would then move to dismiss the criminal trespass charge. The recommendation is that of all suspended jail time, a probation fee, unsupervised probation fee of $250 and I proposed a statement that corresponds with the offense date and would ask Your Honor to inquire.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your full name Faith Marie Barrow?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Barrow, I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to one count of theft in the 3rd degree. Plea form tells me you're 36 years of age. Any problem going over the plea process with your attorney?
No.
If I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5 of the form. No trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing which could be up to 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine, regardless of what's recommended.
Yeah.
And the rights contained in paragraph 5, they're gone. No trial, no appeal, simply that sentencing to which I refer. With that in mind, as to one count of theft in the 3rd degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on October 23rd, 2022, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You make that plea of your own free will.
Yes.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you plead guilty?
No.
I'll find your plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made, and your statement in paragraph 11 does satisfy the elements of the offense. Now, the recommended sentence is 364 days in jail, but all suspended on the condition of law-abiding behavior and a $250 fine. Now, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
No.
Does you ever go anything further with
Sorry, what was that?
Ms. Barrow, stand by. We're processing the paperwork.
Oh, okay.
They seem to be frozen a little bit. It goes to view, but they can't. It's not frozen. That doesn't work. Think about it. Is there something I can do here? Oh, really? They better get their equivalent Jason on the gym. Mr. Radcliffe, anything to add to the sentencing recommendation? Ms. Barrow, I'm going to follow the recommendation. 364 days, all suspended on the condition of law-abiding behavior and pay a $250 fine. It's gonna take me a minute to review and sign the papers in connection with the matter, but you'll be given a copy of the same, and your attorney will have them as well. Any question at all?
No, well, do I have to sign papers?
Come again?
Is there papers that I have to sign?
Well, you're not here, so you can't sign anything, but we'll be sending you a copy of the today's paperwork now. If you read them over carefully, and if you have any disagreement, any question about anything that's in the paperwork, let us know. Call your attorney.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Barrow, thank you. You take care.
Yeah, thank you, you too.
Let's try this again.
Is it going
Okay,
in?
check that. If I leave it, it disappears. Now, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Aha. So much stuff.
Yeah, usually when they print them, they don't print them.
Okay.
You don't, yeah, they don't see. They only see what's checked.
And now, yes. I'm right, it's on the wrist. I think. And that closed and back to the dashboard. Anything further at this time?
Well, we did have, is he gone still? So do we want to do the no shows?
Sure.
Okay. So, I haven't had any contact with Taylor Decker.
Bless you. Boy, everybody's sleeping. Taylor Decker, that's docket number 9, page 9. City of Emotion.
So you said
2,500. Casher. Next would be, I think,
Gregory Lucy.
Lucy.
Now, he was a co-defendant with Ms. Nostad, who appeared today
Yes.
and did an SOC. I anticipated that he was going to be here. She advised me that he was sick, not feeling well. They're kind of roommates, I guess. So I guess my request would just be to note the non-appearance and reset it with notice.
I go ahead. It's, yeah, note the non-appearance for speedy trial purposes, reset
Yep.
with notice.
And let's see, I haven't had, well, I'm not appointed. So there's someone by the name of Rosnick. I don't know
That
if
was
he ever
taken
showed
care
up. That was Josh's, so,
We took care.
okay, so we took that, okay. And
Mr. Rosnick was one man crime wave and got resolved today.
well, on the 11 o'clock, I've left a couple of messages for Kevin Bingaman. I haven't gotten any callbacks.
Well. City wish warrant,
Yes.
but if I better, Casher. Bethany Hill.
I've left messages and haven't received a return call.
2,500 Casher bond warrant will issue. Not appearance.
And Thomas Jones. Oh, okay.
Phone number ending 8992 is muted. If you unmute yourself, we don't know who you are. Thank you. Who, could you tell us who you are?
Thomas Jones.
Mr. Jones, good afternoon. You're calling in a little late, but your attorney is in the courtroom. We were just looking at your case.
Good afternoon.
I've been trying to.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. It's Dan Haverco. I'm seated in the courtroom. Your matter's on today for a pretrial hearing on a suspended third and a ignition interlock device violation. Mr. Jones's request is to get appointed to a different public defender. If I could supplement the record, Mr. Jones and I have had discussions about his case. And he wants to challenge the stop of this vehicle. The general facts of this case are the probable cause is the officer was on patrol and observed Mr. Jones's vehicle, and I believe indicates in the report that my recollection is the license plate light was not working. That was the basis of the stop. One could look at that as a petty thing, but in terms of legal analysis, that would be a sufficient legal basis likely for the basis of a stop. And I believe Mr. Jones's position is that his license plate light was working at the time. And he and I talked about the fact that we've got a contradiction of facts. An officer says, for his observations while on patrol, that the light was not working. Mr. Jones says he and his associates would testify that the light was working. And I indicated to him that that's a basis to have a hearing, but it's not likely to prevail because in my many years of criminal defense practice, if you bring a suppression motion pursuant to Criminal Rule 3.6, this is a city court, so it's actually technically it's a criminal rule of limited jurisdiction. 3.6, it's the court officer, the judge, that has to decide in a case such as this whether the light was working or not, and the court will take testimony from the officer on behalf of the city, and the defense can present defendant's testimony. And I just explained to Mr. Jones that when there's a factual dispute to be decided by the judge, and you have to weigh the evidence between an officer's account of the facts, the sworn commissioned police officer, and a defendant or their associates. In my career, I've never seen a judge not make a finding that finds the officer credible, or rather, I've never seen it happen where a judge finds the testimony of the defendant to be more believed or more credible, and therefore should override, the testimony of the officer. That's just been my observation. And so, in light of that, I just indicated, Mr. Jones, I didn't think there was very much likelihood that such a motion would prevail, and that was advice that I felt was important to give him because that's my experience and that's my reading of the law generally. And anyway, Mr. Jones just didn't like that. He didn't like my my comments, and I told him that sometimes, when you're a defense attorney, you have to give people news and advice that maybe they don't like, but in order to help them, you have to give them your honest assessment of an issue, a legal issue in their case. So anyway, he didn't like that. And I called him a couple of days ago. First, I said, I don't think we should bring the motion because hyper-technically, I guess it's up to me. However, that said, I called him 3 days ago and said, look, if you really want your day in court and you want to have a 3-6 motion, which is a motion to suppress, I said, I'm happy to file the motion. It's a simple little thing and we can have, the hearing and do that. And so the conversation was civil, and he understood and said, I think he was appreciative that I was willing to file the motion, but nevertheless, at the end of the conversation, I think still re-expressed his desire to have a different attorney. I don't know what the court is going to do now that the status of Mr. Skiba is in question. I'm not sure if he's still with the city. Anyway, in any event, it's the defendant's request to be assigned to a different court-appointed lawyer judge.
Mr. Jones, I've heard the statement of Mr. Haverco, and he is correct. You're entitled to a hearing on the validity of the stop. And you're certainly going to have that hearing if that's your wish. Any lawyer can do is give you the benefit of his experience and the benefit of his advice. I'm familiar with Mr. Haverco and have been for quite some time. He's a very competent attorney, and all he can do is tell you what his experience has been and represent you to the best of his ability. And he will do that and will continue to do that. Why do you want a different attorney?
Because he didn't tell me that he would even do the motion until the other day. And then he just went and explained to the judge how the judges usually doesn't go with the defendant's side. So that's like not fair in I don't feel that that's a very good legal representative to go ahead and convince the judge that judges don't usually side with the defendant.
Once again, Mr. Jones, all Mr. Haverco can do is give you the benefit of his experience. Now, you're entitled to a competent lawyer, and you have one. I don't see any reason why you should be entitled to go to some other lawyer. You're entitled to hire a lawyer if you wish, but I'm not in a position of having to give you another lawyer just because you're looking for a better opinion.
But I did a 3-6 hearing just recently within the last year. I've had my own experience, and he didn't want to listen to what I had to do. He just wanted to do whatever he said he was going to do. We're
going to reset the pretrial. I'm not going to appoint you a different lawyer. We're going to reset the pretrial to the next available court date. Now, if a motion is filed, we'll hear the motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, good luck to you. You take care of yourself. And now any future court hearings are going to be in person. So you need to be here for the next hearing. Our next hearing will be on
I didn't get that, Your Honor. I apologize.
the next hearing. It will be on January 5th. In the meantime, stay in touch with Mr. Haverco, and law-abiding behavior is always a condition of release. Good luck to you. You take care of yourself. We'll send you a copy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Signing it as we speak.
And back to the no-shows on the 11 o'clock, I think we would have gotten to David Mowat.
That was perfect timing. We got to Mr. Jones right when he
Yeah.
called. The next no-show I have is the docket number 12 on page 14, David Mowat.
I've left messages, haven't gotten a return call.
City wish warrant. Order. Then I think the last one I have off the 11 would be Jason Tipton.
And that was dismissed. Yeah, that was dismissed. And Zermano was reset.
I didn't make a docket entry.
And that is everything.
Now on record for the 1 o'clock arraignment calendar. Before I call you up one at a time, I need to advise you of a couple of things. One, this is your first court appearance in response to the issuance of a criminal citation. You need to know you have a right to have a lawyer represent you at all stages of any criminal proceeding. Mr. Haverko, our public defender, is here. He will at least enter a plea on your behalf today, and we'll discuss with you off record whether you're entitled to a public defender at public expense out of my hearing. The plea at the arraignment is invariably not guilty. That's not any great statement about the case. That's simply a preservation of your rights measure. Pending a pretrial conference. That's a chance for you to talk to your attorney about the case, your attorney in turn to talk to the prosecutor about the case, resolve the case if possible by agreement. If there cannot be any agreement about the disposition of a case, you have a right to a public and speedy jury trial in the county where the offense was allegedly committed. Have any question about your rights or what you're charged with? Ask either Mr. Haverko or myself any question you might have. Is Justin Allen here? Is not here. First up, is anybody here with a private attorney? Are you Mr. Basaw? Have your attorney let me know when he arrives. As a matter of courtesy, private attorneys, the clock is always running. And as a matter of courtesy to them and their client, I prefer to take that out of order. Justin Allen does not answer. A number of people will not answer. At the conclusion of the calendar, I go back through the cases. If there was probable cause for the issuance of the criminal citation, a warrant will issue for that person's arrest. So you've at least saved yourself an arrest warrant by just showing up today, and I want to thank you all for that. Is Travis Edmondson here? Travis, Mr. Edmondson, if you have a seat next to Mr. Haverko. We have two matters on the calendar. On November 7th, you were cited with driving license suspended or revoked 3rd degree. You were cited with the same thing and failure to transfer title. 3 days later, on November 10th, the city may have motions with regard to your case.
Yeah, Your Honor, city moves to amend to,
Mr. Amundson, as you walked in here, now this is going to apply to a few other people in the room, I believe. You were charged with criminal offenses. Failure to transfer title within 45 days is one of, I think, 6 states in this country that has that as a criminal offense. Driving a license suspended or revoked is also a criminal offense. There's up to 90 days in jail. The city has moved to amend your charges from criminal offenses to civil infractions. The infractions would be expired tabs with regard to the title issue, and then no valid operator's license on your person with regard to the 2 other charges. Being civil infractions, you're not entitled to a public defender. There's no possibility of any jail time. If you admit the infractions, you don't plead guilty to them. That's criminal in nature. If you admit them, I impose a fine. If you deny that you committed the infraction, we can set the case for what they call a contested hearing down the road. Any questions about anything I just said? With regard to your infractions, do you admit them or deny them? I'll assess 150 with regard to each of them, and we'll set you on a payment plan for that. We live in a world where you pretty much have to be able to drive just to function at all. Do you know what you need to do to get your license reinstated?
Yeah, I gotta take a drug test again.
I make that a priority in life, just as advice. I'm not ordering you to do anything I can't. My advice is get your license reinstated as soon as possible. What I will do is sign an order setting the payment. Now, in each of your cases, I'm going to sign an order either setting the matter for a pretrial or disposing of an infraction. I want you, before you leave, to go to the window outside the courtroom and to your left and get a copy of today's order and review it carefully. In the case of criminal matters, it'll have a future court date. It's very important you attend that. Everything is done electronically these days. Electronic signature duly attached. Mr. Amundson, sign today's order, get a copy of it. And if you have any, the fines are the least of my concerns here. If there's any problem making the fine payments, let us know. We can always deal with that. I'd rather deal with that than Then have it go to the Department of Licensing as a failure to appear, which puts you right back behind the 8 ball. Good luck to you, sir, and thank you for appearing. On my own motion, I'm gonna dismiss the no insurance and the failure to renew registration. Brittany Burt. Brittany Burt at the courtroom. We'll come back to that matter. How about Mr. Bissau, your attorney not here yet? Samantha Hamill Franklin. Good afternoon, ma'am. Is your full name Samantha Sue Hamill Franklin? Ms. Franklin, I'm looking at the citation that alleges that on or about October 3rd, 2022, you committed 5 counts of theft 3rd degree. That crime is what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll have Mr. Haverco enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Stipulates problem cause, ask the court to enter not guilty, please.
Plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf. We'll set the matter for a pretrial. Pretrials are now in person. You need to be here in person. You'll be given contact information. That will be in today's order. With your attorney, I want you to contact him, stay in contact with him until the matter is disposed of. Any questions? Pretrial set for January 5th at 10 in the morning. And of course, condition of release is always law-abiding behavior and appear for court. Well, Franklin, see you back here. You have a total of 6 counts of theft in the 3rd degree.
Oh, I see.
Conditions of release or law-abiding behavior, and if you've been trespassed from the premises of the store. You can pay that.
No.
Concludes today's hearing. Ms. Campbell Franklin, get a copy of today's order, and we'll see you back here in January. Good luck. Any questions? Again, good luck. Gerald Christopher from the courtroom. Gerald Christopher. Does not answer. How about Kinsey DeFord? Gregory DeCecco. Megan Dominguez. Benjamin Durr. Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Benjamin John Durr? Mr. Durr, the city may have a motion in your case as well. Mr. Durr, I don't know if you heard what I said before. The charge has been amended from a criminal offense to a civil infraction. If you admit the infraction, I'll impose a fine. And if you deny it, we can set it for a contested hearing. The infraction is no valid operator's license. Do you admit or deny?
Yes.
150. You'll be put on a payment program, 25 a month. If you have a problem making the payments, let us know. Do you know what you need to do to reinstate your license?
Yes, I do, and
I'd make it a, you don't need to tell me, but I'd make that a priority in life to do what you can. Mr. Jerry signed the order setting the payments.
You don't need to sign.
Good luck to you and take care. Brian Erickson. Good afternoon, sir. Full name Brian, middle initial L Erickson.
Yes.
Mr. Erickson, the citation I have alleges an honor about November 18th, 2022. You committed the offense of assault in the 4th degree domestic violence. That charge is what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty and conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll have Mr. Haverco enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Stipulates probable cause as the court enter not guilty plea.
Mr. Erickson, a plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf. That preserves your rights. Now I understand, it's my recollection that you're on a deferral, basically the same offense. That'll be calendared along with the pretrial in your matter. Condition to release remain in effect, and that would include no contact with Paul Erickson. Any question at all?
No.
Good luck to you. Stay in contact with your attorney and get a copy of today's order before you leave.
Before you go. Let me see if I need your number. I need a number.
253 625. Oh, wait.
Where you go?
Sarah Flynn in the courtroom. Sarah Flynn. The electronic system we have here, courts is what it's called. It's having its issues today. Sarah Flynn did not answer. Cynthia Gordon. Cynthia Gordon in the courtroom. Good afternoon. Is your full name Cynthia, middle initial A, Gordon?
Yes.
Ms. Gordon, the citation I have alleges an honor about November 21st, 2022. You were cited for the offense of no valid operator's license without identification. The city may have a motion on this case.
Yes, Your Honor, the city.
The basic premise there was it changed from no valid operators without to with identification. That transforms it from criminal to civil. If you admit the infraction, Ms. Gordon, I'll assess a $150 fine. If you deny committing the infraction, we can set it for a contested hearing. Any question about anything I said? What do you wish to do? Admit or deny?
Guilty.
You don't need to plead guilty. That's to a criminal offense.
Oh.
If you admit it,
I admit it.
that's technical difference without a real distinction. Mine is 150. Do you know how to, is there an issue reinstating your license, I advise you to take care of that. Ms. Gordon, I'm signing today's order. Again, get a copy of it before you leave, and if there's an issue making the payments, let us know. Sign, and now closed. You take care of yourself, good luck, and if there's an issue with your license, go ahead, reinstate. Call the matter of Brian Basaw, who evidently stepped out of the courtroom. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. Russell Hill. Good afternoon. Is your full name Russell Keenan Hill?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill, the citation is for driving the license suspended, revoked, third degree. You've heard what the city customarily does with regard to that case. The city so moved. The city just amended the charge from a criminal offense to a civil infraction. The civil infraction would be no valid operator's license on your person. If you admit that, the fine's $150. If you deny it, we can set the matter for a contested hearing.
I'd like to make Your Honor.
That's what we'll do. I'm reviewing and will sign an order setting the fine. Again, payments $25 a month. If there's a problem making the payments, just let us know. We can deal with that. I don't want it to, because if you don't make the payments, it eventually goes into departmental licensing as a failure to appear and back in the same position. What I'd like to suggest you do is, if there's an issue with your license, do what you can to get it reinstated. You take care of yourself. Thank you for appearing, and any questions?
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck to you. Yes, we'll call that matter now. Come on up. Mr. Schroeder, are you, there you are. There you are. Hear me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We're going to address your matter at this time. Your client is in the courtroom and seated in front of me at this time. Sir, is your name Brian Roy Basaw? Yes, sir. Citation I have alleges that on or about October 28, 2022, you committed the offense of violating the terms and provisions of a protection order. I'm going to turn to your attorney at this time for the entry of a plea. Is there a wish for formal advisement of rights or finding a probable cause or a stipulation?
Yes, Your Honor. We, Dennis Schroeder, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Basaw, who is present in court out of custody. Your Honor, defense acknowledges receipt of the charging documents and waives further formal reading, stipulates to finding a probable cause for the case purposes only, and asks the court enter a plea of not guilty.
Plea of not guilty is entered. That will set the matter for a pretrial. And that would be January 5th or 19th. What would be your preference for a court date?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I heard January 5th or what?
19th, 5th or 19th, and that would be at 9 o'clock a.m.
Oh, I am in trial on the 5th, so the 19th, please, Your Honor.
Go to, how about we go to February 2nd?
Well, the 19th is fine. I
Fine.
can do the 19th.
January 19th, 9 a.m. And we're setting, with the first of the year, we're going to be setting all hearings in person.
Very good.
that presents a problem, let us know and we can deal with that. So you saw any conditions to release earlier set remain in effect? Stay in contact with your attorney, have law-abiding behavior, city request anything further?
We're good. Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
No courts, I'll sign that and we'll be sending you a copy and your client can get a copy of the today's order before he leaves the courthouse.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, I should probably just clarify, are we excused at this point?
Okay, absolutely, absolutely.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good day.
You too.
So I'll order signed, get a copy of it before you leave and we'll see you back here in your pretrial date. Good luck.
Thanks, sir. Sorry for wearing my hat back.
That happens. Is Vernon Horst in the courtroom? Vernon Horst. Mr. Horst, if you would come on up and have a seat next to Mr. Haverhill. Would you rather stay seated?
I'm here
Are you Vernon, middle initial J, Horst? Is your name Vernon Horst? Is your name Vernon Horst?
I got a bill here, she sent. She said I ran into her, and I didn't, she ran into me.
Mr. Are you able to hear me? Can you hear me?
Barely. I'm old,
So am I.
I'm 96.
You got me. I'm gonna have Mr. Haverhill enter a plea on your behalf and we'll set the matter for a hearing in the future and I want you to talk to him about your case.
Stipulate the probable cause, Your Honor. That's the court enter a not guilty plea. They already have it.
Sorry, I can't hear her.
Yeah. Okay. You need to sign right here. You need to sign? Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure he's gonna understand.
Do you have a phone number?
Officer, Mr. Horst is extremely hard of hearing. He has not understood a lot of what I say. Could you help him get to the window and so we can get a
Okay.
copy of his today's order? Hey, thanks much.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay, sir, I can take you over to the window.
Thank you, Mr. Horst.
Thank you.
Amanda Huestis. Amanda Huestis. Not answer. Shane Iverson. Does not answer as well. Clifford Jones. Jennifer Lawrence.
Clifford Jones is here.
Mr.
Judge.
Jones is here. Is your full name Clifford, middle initial D, Jones?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, citation alleges on or about November 11th, 2022, you committed the offenses of criminal trespass third degree or criminal trespass first degree and theft third degree. Both of those are what they call gross misdemeanors. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days incarceration and or a $5,000 fine with regard to each charge. I'll have Mr. Haverhill enter a plea on your behalf, and he'll discuss your matter with you at a later date.
Stipulate probable cause on both cases, ask the court to enter not guilty, please.
Jones, pleas of not guilty have been entered on your behalf. We're going to set the matter for a pretrial. That will be on January 5th at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it'll be in this room. Now, I note from the docket that Thurston County District Court has some warrants out for your arrest. Be a good idea to get those taken care of. Need to sign right here on this pen.
Yeah, I mean. The phone number.
Jones, if I can amend what I said earlier, you've got two charges, both the same, theft third, trim trust one. You've got that twice, on November 11th and August 31st. Be a good idea to take care of your district court matters. Any questions at all?
With the Thurston County matters, with them you said, or,
I don't know. Those are cases that are up there, and you're gonna have to check into that and find out.
Yeah.
Your attorney can maybe
Go
help.
get your phone number for me.
Jennifer Lawrence. Georgia Lights, Leitz. Marshall Middlestat. Good afternoon, sir. Full name Marshall Lauren Middlestat. Yeah. Citation alleges that on or about November 7th of 2022, you committed the offense of theft in the third degree. Once again, that's a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll have Mr. Haverhill enter a plea on your behalf, and he'll represent you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Stipulate probable cause, ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Middlestat, a plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf. We'll set the matter for a pretrial. Then we'll have the contact information of your attorney on it. Excuse me. We'll just stay in touch with him and be back here on your court date, which will be January 5th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Any questions at all? No.
You need to sign it. We need a phone number.
253 495 6144.
Got it. Right. Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you.
Stephen Morris in the courtroom. Isiniasu Sulia. I'm mispronouncing your name, and for that I apologize. How do you pronounce your name? Have a seat if you would. Citation I have alleges on or about November 5th, 2022, you committed the offense of assault in the fourth degree, DV. That is what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to have Mr. Haverhill enter a plea on your behalf, and he will represent you in this matter.
Stipulate probable cause, Your Honor, ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Plea of not guilty is entered on your behalf. We're going to set the matter for a pretrial, and conditions of release in this are always law-abiding behavior. and stay in touch with your attorney and appear back in court as directed. January 5th, 10 o'clock, that'll be your next court appearance. Any questions at all?
Yes. When can I?
Great.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to find out.
We'll talk later. Which shirt sign here with this? And then I need a phone number.
367.
Okay.
And did you get contact information? I think she just walked out.
I got a number.
Good.
Yeah.
Chandra Pesca. Does not answer. Jason Reeves. Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Jason, middle initial W Reeves?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Reeves, citation alleges that on or about November 16th, 2022, you committed the offense of that third degree. That charges what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty and conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in this matter. He'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Stipulate to probable cause, Your Honor, ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Reeves, a plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf that preserves your rights. We're going to set the matter for a pretrial. The order we enter will have the contact information of your attorney on it. Your pretrial will be on January 5th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Any questions at all?
No, sir. And I need a number. So, when you show up your next hearing, you just show up a little early, so you're trying to check, yeah. If you can get a phone.
Mr. Reeves, good luck. Christian Riddle. Over here. Kenneth Seal. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Full name Kenneth Michael Seal.
Correct.
Mr. Seal, the citation alleges that on or about November 20th, 2022, you committed the offense of a disorderly conduct. That's a simple misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 90 days in jail and or $1,000 fine. I'll appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in this matter, and he'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Stipulate to probable cause, Your Honor, ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Seal, that preserves your rights. Set the matter for a pretrial, law-abiding behavior, and appear for court as directed. All right. Would be the conditions release. You promised me to appear, and all right. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Pretrial will be January 5th, 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, thank you.
Don't read it.
And again, we'll have you sign off on that, and you can get a copy of today's order at the window.
Go. Yep. So I need the phone number. 213-393-388. Okay. All right. Right, man.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Lloyd Schaefer. Gilberto Soto. Good afternoon. Soto, they were cited for driving a license suspended or revoked. City may have a motion in your case. Did you, I don't know if you were paying attention earlier. Do you know what that means? Are you able to converse in the English language? Well, the city changed the charge from a criminal offense to a civil infraction, a fine. If you admit the infraction, I'll assess a $150 fine, and you won't have to come back to court. If you admit, that's what'll happen. If you deny it, you're entitled to a contested hearing. Do you want to admit or deny? Do you know what you need to do to get your license back? I always urge people, it's we live in a world where you pretty much have to be able to drive. So that was, if there's a problem with your license, good idea to get it straightened out. And Mr. Soto, that takes care of the hearing for today. Payments will be $25 a month. Any problem making the payments, let us know, we can deal with that. That's not important. What I'd like to see is, I'd like to see you get your license. Good luck to you. Garrett Sim. Jenny Underwood. Kirk Valland. Who was Underwood? Cody Ward. John Ward.
I don't even know Cody.
Well, that could be a good thing, might not be, I don't know.
Distant relative.
But Mr. Ward, you were cited for failure to transfer title and a trip permit violation. The city may have a motion in your case. I see you do that. Expired tabs is what you're left with here. You admit that infraction, I'll assess $150 and deny it. You're entitled to a contested hearing. I'll dismiss the trip permit violation.
Admit.
Okay, got it. You know what you need to do to transfer title?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes if you get a car and you'll get the title when you have to, until after you've parted with your money, the seller doesn't care. And you have real trouble getting the title afterwards. I'm signing today's order, Mr. Ward. And again, you can get a copy of it at the window.
Okay.
You take care of yourself. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Michelle Zenner. By process of elimination. Good afternoon. Full name Michelle Lee Zenner.
Yes.
Ms. Zenner, the citation alleges that on or about November 2nd, 2022, you committed the offense of criminal trespass, second degree. That's a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 90 days and or $1,000 fine. I'll have Mr. Haverhill enter a plea on your behalf, and he'll represent you with this matter.
Stipulates probable cause, support to enter not guilty plea.
Ms. Zenner, a plea of not guilty has been entered on your behalf that preserves your rights. You're presumed to be innocent until the city proves beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed an offense. That remains to be the case. We're going to set a pretrial for January 5th of next year, 11 in the morning,
January fifth, what time?
11 o'clock in the morning. You'll get a copy of, you can get a copy of today's order by going to the window outside the courtroom to your left.
Yeah, phone number.
206 420 6444.
420-6444. All right,
January fifth, 11 back here.
you can get a copy of the paper.
Over here.
Yeah. Nielsen? Well, that was Josh. Yeah.
Oh dear, we missed one of this morning. No Nielsen. Bradley Paul. He's just checking in now. That's Josh's, but he's not Josh's son. He's not gonna be back. Yeah. Kind of unexpectedly. Yeah. Well, on this one, Bradley Nielsen, I guess you have a new client, Bradley Nielsen, which is step third.
So it's on for, is it a pretrial or?
It's yeah, the pretrial hearing at 10 o'clock this morning and just signed in now.
So technically an FTA.
Yeah.
Technically.
Ordered a warrant for as we went through
Yeah.
the no-shows with Josh. Ordered a warrant. I think I'll make a little docket entry. If he checks in before the end of the day, just reset him with notice today. And if he doesn't, the warrant will go in.
So I'm not appointed yet unless he appears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you don't. Back on record for the no shows for the 1 o'clock arraignment docket. It is now 2:15. First one I have is Justin Allen cited for deed of list third, amend to no ball 2 and FTA. Next would be Brittany Burnt. There's a note in the file, request a reset due to weather, so reset with notice. The next one I have is Gerald Christopher. And that's, that was set for a pretrial with Mr. Haverco. And they said just reissue warrants, 2,500 cash or bond. Probable cause having previously been found for both cases. Next one would be DeFord, Kinsey Lee DeFord. Cited for controlled substance, knowing possession. I can't find probable cause. The police report just simply says it looked like it was meth, but no field test, no nothing. And I think that's one of those 69, 50, 40, 13, that one of the marijuana. I want to do a little. So dismiss that, but without prejudice. Greg DeCecco, that's docket number 12, probable cause previously found. 2,500 cash or bond. Next one I have is Megan Dominguez. Cited for failure to transfer title within 45 days, amend that to expired tabs and FTA. Next is Sarah Flynn. Find probable cause for both use of drug paraphernalia and crime trust 2. That was, I think I already found that before. So reissue the warrants, paraphernalia 2,500, 2,500. The next is Amanda Huestas. Neither she nor her. She's already in warrant status, just simply leave the warrants in existence on those, but I do find probable cause for her new November 26th charge, so a warrant on that one as well, May as well. That's docket number 23, 2,500 cash or bond. Yeah, 21 and 2 are the existing warrants. Next to be Shane Iverson. I don't know how many times probable cause has been found on him for these offenses. Crim trust 1, theft 3rd. 2,500 cash or bond. Next would be Jennifer Lawrence. And again, there's a notice, I think, yeah, that's another one of these with the notice in the file. So Jennifer Lawrence, reset with notice. You do this first and following too closely and no insurance. Next would be Georgia Lights. Docket number 31, or I'm sorry, 30M, 31, Crim Trust 1 and Crim Trust 2. Find probable cause for both. On those, when they're doubled up like that, do we issue just one warrant or one warrant for each case? One for each case. 2,500 each case. Next would be Stephen Morris. With docket number 33, amend that to a no ball 2, an FTA. Docket 34, no insurance, just FTA. That is already an infraction. Chandra Pesca, probable causes previously found in that case, 2,500 cash or bond. Next would be Christian Riddle, probable cause previously found on that. I think 1,000 each for all three. Next would be Floyd Schaefer. That's the co-defendant with this Westis. I find probable cause for him theft third as well. 2,500 cash or bond. Garrett Sim, docket number 44, failure to transfer title, amend that to expired tabs and FTA. Jenny Underwood, I find probable cause for Crim Trust 1 and theft third. 2,500 cash or bond. It's amazing how many equal opportunity, multiple. Valentine is the next one. Kirk Valentine, I find probable cause for theft 3 now miss, docket number 2046, and theft 3 obstructing, docket number 47. 2,500 cash or bond. And then Mr. Cody John Ward is the last one. Find probable cause previously on both of those cases. 2,500 cash or bond. And that is it. Not as many warrants as quite a few, but not as many as they probably like. Good afternoon, sir. You must be here for the 2:30.
Yes, sir.
And with, as long as you're here, I'm sure you have better things to do than hang around in a courtroom. So why don't we address your matter now? Come on up, have a seat, if you would, sir, and tell me who you are.
My name is William Ray Beeler.
Mr. Beeler, good afternoon. You were cited for speeding 20 miles over the limit back on 10-4. Now, we have, you have a choice here. You're going to mitigate the infraction and 210. I reduce that. You also have a right to defer it. Defer it as a way of keeping it off your record. Face it, these infractions, a lot has to do, most of them have to do with just insurance premiums. Every court defers matters a little bit differently. The way I do it is this: hold the ticket for a period of 4 months, assess 100 in costs, do the traffic safety school online. I think that's at a cost of $40 to you, and do that and go infraction free over those 4 months, and this ticket would be dismissed. 140 is what that would cost you to do the deferral. With 210, I'd probably reduce it to 150 anyway, 140, 150. Any question about anything I just said?
No, sir. I actually came here today to defer it.
You want to defer it?
Yes.
Good enough. I think we have the information on the traffic safety school that we can, and that'll go in the order. You do that online, and I'm pretty sure the cost is probably still $40. And that's I like to advise people that driving a car, getting behind the wheel of a car is probably the most dangerous thing that most people do in their lifetime. I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people we kill out there each year, but yeah, always I have to remind myself of that. Slow down and get there safely. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt anybody else. But I'm signing an order. I'm going to sign an order in a minute to that effect. The $100 is paid in full by April 1st. And we received proof of the, you might, probably a good idea to call and make sure that we got the proof file proof, I think you can print that off your computer.
Okay,
When it's make sure that gets filed, always a good idea to check with us to make sure.
and how do I make that payment?
Pardon?
How do I make that $100 payment?
To here, that can be done by mail or at the window outside the courtroom to your left,
All right, thank you so much.
one or the other. There, that's where the old court system, that's electronic. I am electronically signing the order now. I can't print it here, but you can get a copy of it if you go to the window, same window outside the courtroom to your left. Ms. Rodriguez will be able to print you a copy of today's.
Thank you so much, sir.
And answer any questions you might have. Mr. Beeler, thank you for appearing. Good luck to you. You take care. Drive safe. I have two other matters on the contested hearing. Kelvin Ropes is here. Okay, we can take that matter now. You've asked for a contested hearing. You were cited for May 2, back on, it looks like September 26th. You've asked for a contested hearing. This being a civil matter, the burden is on the city to prove that you committed the infraction by a preponderance of the evidence. Basically, what that means, rather simplistically, is starts out the scales are balanced evenly. I'll listen to what the officer has to say. He would have submitted a written statement. I'll listen to what you have to say, and whichever way the scales tilt, one way or the other, that's the way I would rule. Any questions?
No, yeah, I know.
September 26, 2022 at approximately 0042, about 1:45 in the morning. TCOM dispatched me to a collision that had just occurred at 10341 Grove Road Southeast. It was reported that a red Honda Civic bearing plate BDS 8486 had struck an unoccupied vehicle and struck a fence on the property. I was en route to the location. Officer Mooney and I were advised that there were no injuries. Officer Mooney and I arrived on the scene and spoke with all involved parties. The owner of the Honda Civic, bearing BPS 8486, was identified as Kelvin Ropes, DOB, date of birth 8202. Kelvin said he was traveling north on Grove Road Southeast, knowingly traveling over the speed limit. Kelvin said he lost control of his car as his front tire went off the road on the right shoulder. Kelvin said as he overcorrected and he attempted to recover from going off the road, he was forced to collide with the parked Nissan Pathfinder BYP 3627, just missing the Honda Pilot AWD 0131 and crashing into the fence located in the front yard of 10341 Grove Road Southeast. Officer Mooney asked Kelvin if he had anything to drink tonight. Kelvin said no. Officer Mooney and I spoke with Kelvin. I could not observe any odors emitting from his breath or any apparent signs of impairment. Kelvin again stated he had just traveled too fast into the corner during the nighttime hours. Kelvin also advised that the car was not drivable due to the damage in the front, rear driver's side, driver of the Honda Civic. I was able to obtain Kelvin's vehicle registration, license, and insurance policy for exchange of information. The owner of the Nissan Pathfinder, Leah Randall, advised she was not in the Nissan during the collision. Leah did not wish to provide insurance information for her Pathfinder. Leah stated that Kelvin would already have enough to worry about with the damage to Kelvin's vehicle. I was able to obtain Leah's vehicle registration and phone number for the exchange of information. The property owner of the 10341 Grove Road Southeast and the owner of the Honda Pilot AWD 0131, Kathy Roberts, also advised that her Honda Pilot was unoccupied at the time of the collision. I was able to obtain Kathy's registration, license, and insurance policy for the exchange. All occupants that resided at 10341 Grove Road Southeast advised that they had been woken up by the collision and were only concerned that Kelvin was safe and not seriously hurt. All parties were able to exchange information for insurance purposes. No one requested medical aid while on scene nor appeared injured in any way at the time of our contact. Due to the immobility of Kelvin's Honda Civic, I advised T-Con to send the next rotational tow. Towing respondent took possession of the vehicle. When the Civic was removed from in front of the Honda Pilot, it was clear that there were red paint marks from the Honda Civic alongside the front bumper of the Honda Pilot. The paint marks matched the brighter red paint of the Honda Civic and were different from the more maroon type red of the Pilot. Scene was photographed, all photographs added. Traffic infraction issued, 4661-530, neg driving second degree. I did this due to Kelvin's driving for over the speed limit during the dark nighttime hours. With little or no street lighting. Kelvin was given a copy of the infraction and advice how to respond. I certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that I have completed this in Yelm, Washington on the date above. The foregoing is true and correct, and I am entering my authorized user ID and password to authenticate. That is what the officer says. There's a bunch of pictures here. I don't know if you've seen them or even care to or not. You're entitled to do that if you want. And there's a little diagram of the accident if you want to look at that.
No, Your Honor, insurance has already been claimed. The Honda or the Pathfinder was fixed already. They also got the money to fix their fence.
You did have insurance? That's
Yes.
taken care of. Oh, it's in the back. That's one of the heavier parts. That's what basically the officer's rather straightforward report. I'll listen to anything you have to say.
Yes, Your Honor. At that time of the night, I was coming home from the state fair. I had dropped a friend off, so that's why I was arriving home so late. With the conditions of the road and the patchy fix of them, and the corner is like a very dangerous road. I wouldn't say I was speeding tremendously. Maybe like 3 or 4 miles per hour was the speed limit, and my tire dipped off the road. And when the police report said when I tried to correct myself in the patch of gravel, the car just went straight, even though my steering wheel was turned. I had no intentions of crashing. I was just trying to get home. I was really close to being home. I was like 0.2 miles away. And I just think that the ticket was a little much. I have a lot of other tickets I've been dealing with, and I've been following all my DUI, probation, and all that stuff.
As far as negligent driving, do you have somebody with you?
Yes, this is my stepfather.
Anything you wish to say? Anybody?
But I mean, the biggest thing is that spot on the road, and I drive the flat race, they actually, because of this, they found about seeing it now, because people race through there, and even this morning, like, the work was snowing, I was people around that turn. So they hit the fix for that, and come around this turn, and right where the peak of that turn is, there's no, the city has to fix it, or county has to fix it. So I did a couple of times, even though the speed limit, and scared the heck out of me. So the next day, I wanted to listen to the house that after that, the people were like, we'll take their defense, we'll do this. I didn't see any damage on the part when they made it. It's the complicated, but they got paid for the part of the beginning of the third. We made sure it was literally.
Who pays the premiums for this insurance?
I do.
Yeah, I know that.
So it can happen to me, but he does have a lot. He is national guard, and he is taking care of that.
Actually, that's the concerning thing here is your driving record is horrible. The DUI, reckless driving, speeding, everything. I could tell you stories from now and then. I've had and represented people that sat right next to me. They didn't care. I was gonna they were gonna wind up going to the penitentiary because the passenger in their car they killed was their wife. I don't know how many, you're the poster child for somebody that's gonna either kill yourself or kill somebody else. Or get suspended by the Department of Licensing, and not be able to drive at all legally. And then you'll drive out there and you'll get eventually driving license suspended, first degree, which is mandatory jail time, serious jail time. You know, you're gonna go broke alone, or drive somebody into bankruptcy by paying with the insurance premiums, if you can even get insurance, on that. So I'm not gonna find you committed. I'm gonna dismiss the citation. I hope I'm not making a mistake, in doing that. But I want you to slow down, relax, save your own life. Don't hurt yourself. Don't kill yourself. I don't know how many clients I've had to, get a phone call from, a parent that, well, they feeling so bad about their brother, they committed suicide last night. You don't want to put yourself or your family that evidently cares a great deal about you in that sort of position. You know, slow down, get there. I hope you just can somehow get away from being, you know, that way behind the wheel. I've got, over the years, back perhaps when I was your age, I had many friends that drove that way. A neighbor went head to head with a fir tree about that big around, killed himself and two others. He used to run up and down my driveway on his motorcycle. But I walked by his gravesite. He was 19, 4th of July. Oh, hey, yeah, stay alive. I don't
Yes,
want to
sir.
read your name in the paper, either being in jail because you hurt somebody else badly, or read your name in the obituaries because you drove in a way that you shouldn't.
Yes, sir.
I hope that you at least think of what I said. You know, I waste a lot of time and a lot of breath talking to people, but I hope I'd like to see you have a good productive life. And there's a lot of stuff out there I'd rather have you spend your money on than these insurance companies, which are sharks.
Me
Good luck.
too. Your words mean a lot, Your Honor.
Take care. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. Yeah, and I think you probably have a lot of parental advice that you've received and that can be a benefit to you. So,
I've been in issues, my record is clean now, my record is so far, so that red part that you wrecked is gone now, so we've moved on, thank you, sir, thank you.
thank you. Take you.
When you get
Let me sign that. Sure. I didn't realize it. Maybe we should, I'm gonna erase that $50.
Oh, yeah, that's just an automatic.
That's a default. I just erased it for this one. He probably needs that for his probation officer when they do it. It's now 25-3. Mr. Talbot Riddall did not appear, which doesn't surprise me in the least. Just FTA. Not that it'll bother him a heck of a lot with the record that he has here, I don't think.